What's up, my punios? Andy Vlogs at it again here, comparing the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Why is that so hard to say? I don't know why. A lot of you guys wanted some more low light, and so as the title suggests, we're going to go over quite a few different low light situations, comparing the cameras of each phone. Now, I've done no post editing or production on any of these videos. Some of them are cut, obviously, in order to edit them together, but nonetheless, I have not changed any exposure or lighting or contrast. It's just right out the camera. Also, the settings are basically on auto 4K 30. That's what I typically shoot in when I vlog, and so I thought there was no reason to try to overcomplicate things because the typical person that uses these devices are going to use the auto settings. And so I'm also going to go in and show you, what the settings are underneath each picture. I did not take any pictures. This is for video only. If you want me to go take pictures in similar situations, then let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button and I'll do a comparison with photos. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this, and I will be providing some commentary as I'm shooting. I know some of you guys don't like that. Tough. It's what I like to do. On location here, punios, we're going to do some low light. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm not going to do any slow-mo or any difference in resolution. I'm not going to do the 8K. What we're going to focus on is fidelity. We're going to focus on noise. We're going to focus on zoom. So with that said, I'm going to just kind of show you a montage of different videos, and then I have a couple of videos that I'm going to break down side by side here. We're going to check out the two different ultra-wide cameras, 0.5x and 0.6x on the Samsung respectively. We're going to do the wide, which is 1x, and then on the Teles, the Samsung has the three times, and then the iPhone has the 2.5. And so you'll see it in a very, myriad different situations. I'm zooming in. I'm zooming at people. I'm zooming into water, moving objects, and even some of the architecture here out in this really beautiful place. Let's jump into it. We start off as we drive to this mall in Salt Lake City. It's not quite low light, but it's starting to get dusk and it's overcast, so this is going to be a situation that you're going to be shooting in. We went up towards the Capitol and we drove around and saw a really tall building, so you can see the difference between the 0.6x and 0.5x of the two phones. You can see the 1x difference, and then you can see specifically here at this Mormon temple the difference in low light as you zoom into those Tele lenses. The Samsung, I feel like, is just generally darker. It seems like the contrast and the sharpness is way up to compensate for the low light. The iPhone seems like it's getting on the faces of the kids a lot less contrasty and softer image.
Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all night.
Now, once we parked, I was able to get some static shots here where I pan up and down, and then we test out the zoom. So you can see here again that the 3x is going to be helpful in some circumstances as opposed to the 2.5. You can see the big difference between the two here and their differences in composition, color balance, and overall exposure as I show the picture of Minnie Mouse. I don't know what's going on with the reds in the background for the iPhone, but it seems like there's something going on where it's not overexposing any of those company logos that are red. Whereas the Samsung, you can see the light exposing through it. It seems like the color science for both of the phones are pretty spot on. There's a little bit more darkness in the Samsung, but I think by far on that ultra wide for the Samsung, it is getting you a way better, way clearer, and a better stabilized picture. However, when you zoom into the 1x and past for the iPhone, I think it does much, much better. Anything past like 10x, it's just got so much noise and the colors are just off. That Disney sign is like violet. Both phones from ultra wide to Tele do this weird change in the microphone. You can kind of tell it here.
So this is a really
good example of low light here on all the cameras on the Samsung and on the iPhone. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to show you how to zoom in and what it's like low light when we go from each camera. So starting with the Samsung, we're gonna zoom in. I'm just gonna tap each one of these little buttons. It's just gonna zoom in as it does, adjusting as it does. Now we're gonna go to the 3x. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the 10x. Holding stabilization pretty good, but it kind of hiccups here when I move too much. Let's go on the iPhone now. Zooming from the 0.5x to the 1 and to 3.5, 3.5. Alright, let's go ahead and let's zoom out. On the Samsung, I'm going to try to zoom as far as I can from 0.6x all the way to 20x. Oh, so close. That was really bad. As soon as I tap to focus, it then stabilized and focused. Let's try that one more time. That was really bad. Okay, let's try this again. Ooh, that really struggles in low light. You have to stabilize it really good. Okay, let's pull back from 20x all the way to 0.6x. That was alright, not too bad. Let's do it on the iPhone now. iPhone's going to be easier. It's going to go from 0.5x all the way to 7. You can tell that it took a second there. Let's try it again when we go. It seems like it holds on that... Okay, that didn't do too bad. It holds on to the wide angle as far as it can to zoom, and then once it hits a stable, I guess, scenery, it'll then back out. It'll then toggle to the 2.5 lens. Now let's toggle back to 0.5. Super smooth. I mean, you can't get any better than that. I wanted to show off the zoom again now that it's gotten darker and see what it looks like when you're zoomed all the way in and then you're stabilizing it. Clearly on the Galaxy, I could literally zoom into one of the windows in that tall building. Obviously the iPhone didn't reach that far. With that said, folks, there's some awesome things going on with these phones. There's some not so awesome things going on with these phones. And as my commentary suggested, I think ultimately the iPhone 12 Pro Max comes out of this on top. And I think the reason why is because they're being much more conservative in their use of the cameras. It is obvious that the wide on both the Samsung and the iPhone are the best. If you zoom up even more, you're getting a lot of digital noise, you're getting very, very high ISO and tons of compression. You're also dealing with digital image stabilization once you get all the way out to the furthest reach of the zoom, especially on that Samsung. And for the most part, Samsung does an okay, but when there's not enough light, it shakes, it can't focus on that point that it kind of sticks to. I recommend getting an aftermarket lens like this Moment lens. This is the wide. You've got the 58 2x Tele that you can get. These will really make that wide lens on both cameras shine. I highly recommend it. I recommend against using any other lens on your camera other than the wide. As you notice, the ultra wide on both of them was just so poor. And that's because those ultra wide lenses don't have that f-stop below 2. It's always above 2, and that's when you're going to get poor lighting situations. It's going to exacerbate the shake and the not so stabilized footage. But again, on the ultra wide, like I said, the Samsung did better. It just does better on that ultra wide. With that being said, folks, if you wanted to check out products like this that I used or any other products, including the rig that I used down below to use this, please hit that like button and check down below. Also, how about that super spicy footage from the beginning of the on-site footage? That was on my Alpha 7 III, which is really awesome, with an awesome Prime 35 full frame lens by Sony. I'll put that stuff down below in the description if you're interested. Nonetheless, thanks so much for watching, guys. Andy with Andy Vlogs, signing out.